We're doing vines, and the first one is number 759, is this vine right here. Now, not much to look at this time of year, but if you had looked at it about 3-4 weeks ago, you would have saw a mass of white flowers here. It is currently called Fallopia, baldschuanica, and it used to be called Polygonum aberti, and you may still see it called by that name. The Fallopias, polygonums, are a group of plants that are in flux. And so with our new technology, DNA analysis and such, we're able to determine what group they actually belong in based on their relationships. So there's been some changes here. I will accept either name as the good one. I often refer to it as polygonum. Now, you can see very, very vigorous vine. This vine was pruned back, I believe, about 2 years ago to almost bare main stems. So you can see that it's really quite a vigorous vine, and that potentially will present some problems in its culture. You can see the remnants of the flower panicles here. So all of this light stuff would have been flowers. And they're really quite a coarse petaled flower. You can look at them on the website and see the images. But it's a mass of flowers when it's in flower. So almost the entire plant is covered in white, and you can't see it. And that starts in about August and goes right up until the frost. There are a couple of negatives. One is the fact that it might be too vigorous in some circumstances. And the second one, often if it's planted on arbors where it's above your head, you have these petals falling down all of the time. And secondly, aphids and other insects seem to love this dense habitat. So if you're sitting under the pergola eating your gazpacho, you can expect to find aphids doing the backstroke in your soup. Right, because it's a bit of so it's not an ideal plant to put over areas where you're going to be sitting, because it will drop this bit of litter and host those insects. Nonetheless, a very, very easy vine to grow, very popular because it has a lot of blooms, and that's what people want to see. Most of the vines bloom inconsistently or for a very short period of time. And this one gives a fairly long period of time, and it's fairly consistent and fairly reliable. It's got sagittate leaves, which are pointed with little tips on the ends. Really not any autumn color, not any winter interest. So really it's all about the flower on this plant. Relatively disease and pest-free, will tolerate full sun to partial shade, and will grow in dry soils once it's established. Here it's in fairly good soils, and that could contribute to its vigor, but it will, once it's established, after a couple of years, tolerate fairly lean, dry soils. But you can see it needs a lot of pruning every year, or otherwise it becomes, if we leave this in a couple of years, it'll be out here. It'll just kind of roll like waves over a bank. And we've actually had it out on top of these spireas and these taxus here. That's where we've had to hack it back. To prune this, we would just go in with head shears, gas-powered head shears, and just slice the top off of it. You know, nothing subtle about managing this plant. Okay? Okay.